Thanks for taking a look at this quick overview of the exclusive buyer-broker agreement and agency disclosure. This is the official document that's used by realtors in the state of Utah to go over the relationship between a buyer and an agent when a buyer has elected to select an exclusive agent, meaning that they will work with a single agent to complete the purchase of a home. First section is fairly straightforward. It just goes ahead and identifies the parties to the agreement, which is the company, the agent, and the buyer. The term of the agreement can be any length that they want, whether it's 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. In theory, I guess it could be a lifetime, but haven't seen that happen. Section 2 here identifies the brokerage fee that's going to be payable to the brokerage upon the completion of a purchase of the buyer. It specifies in here that the amount of money that's paid by the MLS would be accepted as compensation for the agent. It also goes on to explain whether or not there's differences or additional fees to be paid by the buyer. Protection period just covers the fact that if there is a property that is shown and worked on during the time period of the agreement, that the buyer agrees to use that agent in the company. Buyer representations and disclosures. This is a long section that basically says, hey, I only have one agent, don't have any others. Agency relationships in section 5 explains the duties of a buyer's agent, and most specifically outlines the fiduciary duties that are owed to a buyer that include loyalty, obedience, full disclosure, confidentiality, reasonable care, and any other duties required by law. The duties of a limited agent, this explains the role that an agent plays in case you were to purchase a property that that agent or that agent's company has listed. Obviously, those fiduciary duties are a little bit tougher to fulfill, the loyalty, obedience, full disclosure, and confidentiality, if in fact you represent both parties in the transaction. Professional advice basically is the disclaimer that says agents don't know anything. In reality, it just says they're experts in marketing properties, not everything else. Number 7 outlines the dispute resolution for the parties to the agreement, which basically specifies that they agree to go to mediation. If it goes beyond mediation, attorney fees are payable by the loser in that agreement. Finally, the buyer authorizations in section 9 allow the agent to disclose to the MLS what has happened after a transaction is over. And one of the interesting things is that it actually allows the agent to communicate with the buyer during the term of the agreement. If there are attachments or any modifications to the agreement, it would be identified here and there would be an addendum. Section 11 just explains that agents aren't allowed to discriminate on any basis, and that there's an equal housing opportunity for everyone. Number 12 just explains that if this is faxed, emailed, signed electronically, or anything else, it actually is a valid agreement. Number 13 is, this is a new one in this agreement, and this is one that I wanted to cover specifically. The due on sale clause basically is explaining that, hey, if you're doing a transaction that does not completely satisfy an earlier obligation on the title, it may be impacted by a due on sale clause. That's important to understand, and there's a lot of detail to that, and I'm happy to help you understand that personally. It just takes a little bit longer to go over. The short version is that it's possible, if a property is transferred without the loan being paid off, that the loan could be called due and payable immediately. Number 14 gets into the boilerplate that just says, hey, the entire agreement includes this in the addenda. 15 just explains the effective date of the agreement, and that effective date is the signed date. And then we've got the signature section. Obviously, this quick overview isn't going to help you completely with this, but if you'd like to get a copy of one of these agreements to take a look at, or if you'd like further explanation, you can contact me, Mike Burns, at Real Property Results. My mobile number is 801-836-6683. That's 801-836-6683. And I'd be happy to go over this in greater detail, and of course any of the documents that are involved in a transaction in real estate. Look forward to serving you. Have a great day.